welcome to another episode of Dexter's Diary. What's up? I hope you guys had a great weekend. I had a low-key weekend. I just been emotionally unavailable. I didn't have anything to give. I have nothing. So I stayed in my room. I cleaned the whole house. I just real low key, real quiet. Just not really. I just didn't have it. I just been emotionally stunted. I'm not gonna say stunted. I've been sad. Just clearing shit out. Like emotionally, just old things clearing out. And I told you guys that I went through a breakup recently. And I don't know. I think, well, now I'm at the point, I feel like I'm not triggered by him anymore. He actually like messaged me the other day and I was just like, yeah, I'm good. I didn't even respond. I read it though, but I didn't respond. I left him on read. I didn't respond. But I understood why I felt how I felt. And I had invested a lot in this particular relationship emotionally. And I thought that we were gonna go to distance. And that's not what happened. That's not what happened. And there was some residual pain behind it. I was grieving. I wasn't grieving him. I was grieving what could have been, if that makes sense. A lot of times when you invest so much in something, you're investing because you're already calculating the outcome. You're investing, you're calculating the return, what you're getting back out of it. And that's where I was. Like, I mean, we made plans. We had plans to get married. We had plans to have children and all this stuff. And I mean, like, and it just didn't pan out. And I felt like I was at that point in my life. Like, all right, I'm gonna keep it a buck. I was kind of on the fence. You know when you see those red flags, I was kind of like, this can go either way, right? And I cared about him. On the one hand, I was only on the fence because he's a workaholic. That's the real, like he works so much, but he's an entrepreneur and I get that. But I kept thinking like, am I gonna raise my kids alone? Not because we wouldn't be together, but yes, he would be a provider, but you can be a provider and a good parent at the same time. Women do it all the time. I'm just saying. Like he's very family orientated, all that stuff, but he's a workaholic. And a lot of times our disagreements were about that because it's just like, there's only but so much understanding you can give out. And anyway, so finally I was just like, and it's not just that, because what the straw that broke the camel's back was there was an emergency. I had an emergency and I needed him for something and he flaked OD hard. Like it was just like I trusted you to come through and you just flaked. So I was just like, yeah, like, so we're doing all this, and now that when things come to a head, you are a no-show. So, women, we tend to think things like 10 steps ahead. And it's like, so what would happen if I was like at the hospital giving birth? And, like so many different things, like so many different scenarios. And that didn't even occur. But this particular scenario, I'm not going to go into it, but I needed him for something and he completely flaked and just didn't have a reason as to why he flaked. Just nothing. So it's just like, yeah, I'm good. I'm done. Don't worry about me. And he still tried, but it just, once I figure out that I cannot trust you to be there when you say you'll be there, I believe in being a woman of my word. I believe when people say that they're going to do something, that they do it. When we pinky swear on something, like to not do what you said you were going to do is sacrilegious to me. Like, we pinky swore on this. Like, you promised me. And I know it may sound childish, but the reality is, like, when you say something, I'm holding you to your word. I don't care who it is. If I tell you something, hold me to my word. And if I'm unable, I will tell you, like, look, I am unable. I thought I could, but I couldn't. And a lot of times I would probably just like avoid before. But now it's about accountability. You said when you tell someone something, they're trusting you to come through. And the moment that you don't, and you don't say anything, there's no accountability behind it, there's a fracture in the trust foundation, because I trusted you to do what you said you were going to do, and you didn't do that. So anyway, I left that alone. But part of what I've been dealing with is, again, I made an investment and I expected a return, and there wasn't any. And a lot of people were like, why are you dating this dude? Because of the way he looks. But for me, it was like we're together, we're great, we have a good time, and he gets me and I get him, and we laugh and we joke, and we're just really good. And we thought there were moments when things had happened and I was just completely like bonkers, and he was just so chill, and he brought me off the ledge, like, wow, like, relax. And I think these are key things that I look for in a partner, because I know for me, I can be a bit erratic at times, but if we're both erratic, that's chaos. Someone has to be the voice of reason and to be like, look, relax, bring it back, calm down, let's think this through. And he was that person. But again, there were cracks in the foundation, and it is what it is. But the return part is where things got funky. Like, I wanted the whole fairy tale. I wanted the kids and the husband and everything else, and I've really emotionally invested in that. Like, yeah, we can make this work. And I was willing to put in that work, but I'm not going to put in the work by myself, because it's a partnership. And if it's just me, then it's going to be a sole proprietorship. And why are you here? That doesn't make sense to me. So the return part is where things got funky. Because for me, like, when you invest so much in something, so much emotionally, that you want to see it come to fruition, and then it doesn't, and it's just like, damn, I wasted time. I wasted resources. I wasted. And it's just like, I can't get that time back. I can't get those emotions back. And that's a level of shame too, because it's just like, I could have been doing something else. I could have walked away a lot earlier. Like, I'm smarter than this. Because it wasn't, as far as like like I said, there were moments where things were a little bit shaky, and it was just like, it wasn't the first time I had walked away. It was probably like the third time, and I'm like, what am I doing? Like, but that's just to tell you how emotionally invested that I was in this, that I came back. And it was just like, oh, now you're taking me for a fool. Now you're taking me for a game, and you think, like, nah. Like, and I'm not going to sit here and argue with you. I don't argue. I don't fuss. I don't fight. I say what I got to say. You say what you got to say, and we keep it pushing. That's it. That's all. You're not going to catch me in the street acting a fool. That's not how I carry myself. And we had these conversations, and I believe in allowing people to speak. So we had these conversations, and I thought that we had finally, he said everything that I wanted to hear. And turned around and did the same exact thing. And it was just like, yeah, I'm good. But I had to, the hardest part after a breakup is realizing, like, this is not the end. That story is over, and you're moving on to the next phase. And I have my whole life ahead of me. I have a plethora of possibilities of things I can do. And it's funny because I spoke to someone that was close to mine, and they're like, do you really want to have a baby right now? Like, you're on the precipice of your life. Like, you're getting ready to embark on, like, do you really want to have a baby? I'm like, a baby doesn't stop things. And they're like, yeah, I know, but it slows them down. And he's my homeboy. He was like, and he's already working, like, to build his empire. You're gonna be the only person at home. Like, he's gonna come home tired from work, kiss you, kiss the kids, and knock out. Like, you're looking for a 2-parent household when it's gonna be 1 1/4. Because yes, he's providing, yes, he's doing, yes, he is helping out on a monetary level, but emotionally he won't be there. Physically he won't be there. And you'll be changing those diapers by yourself. If you do, like, you can get a nanny, but it's not the same thing. And it was just like, I think it's one thing when it's coming from a female, a woman. It's a whole other thing when it's coming from the opposite sex, and they're looking at it from a different perspective, and they already have children. So, I took that, I waded in, and I was just like, I heard it, I took it with a grain of salt, but I kept going. And now that it's done, it's just like, I'm kind of sad, but I'm a lot sad, but it's not about him. It's not about, the him can be interchangeable. It's about my investment and my return. And I'm not gonna jump off a building or anything like that, but I gotta, when you, I don't know if you know, but if you're in stocks and you lose a large chunk of money, depending on how much money you have after that, you gotta reassess your losses. You gotta figure out what the hell's going on. Like, should I, depending, again, you'd have to have a large chunk of money. At this point in the game, I don't have a large chunk of feelings, so when you invest emotionally in someone and spend time and whatever, like, you don't get that back. And so you just gotta, you do cut your losses, but there's still residual. Like, so now, like, somebody will be like, oh, this person is cute. I'm like, because I don't hate men. I don't feel any kind of way in that way. But I know hurt people. And because I'm in a space where I'm still dealing emotionally and recuperating. From that, I don't want to go into any situation where I may put somebody through something that has nothing to do with them, because I'd be reacting off of old traumas instead of acting in that moment. And you never know. I don't believe in jumping from relationship to relationship because you're looking for someone to fill a gap. I'm whole in and of myself. I may have a little bit of a hole. So I'm putting some spackle on, I'm healing, fresh coat of paint, you know, I'm healing. And while I'm healing, when you're healing, you don't go out looking for a new illness. You know, when you got a cold, you gotta get through the cold and build your immune system back. You don't go out looking for the flu. You know what I mean? Like, that's not where I am. Hurt people. And I'm just running the gambit of this. I've been listening to sad songs and everything else. Well, not purposely. I just seem drawn to them. But whatever. I'm just purging. And I'm gonna be okay. Like, he actually hit me up like last week. And I didn't even respond. I'm not there anymore. Like, we did it. 3 strikes, you're out. And 3 strikes was being really generous. Really generous. It's not even my thing. So we're done. And funny enough, I wasn't even triggered. Because like I said, it wasn't about him. It was about what I put into it. And now I'm just like, it's cool. I got my whole life ahead of me. Like, this is not the end. I'm beautiful. I'm smart. Like, all this good stuff. And it's cool. And that's that. So, to tie it all together, heal yourself. Whatever you're going through, heal yourself. And understand that when you're in a place of healing, it may not seem like, other people may not understand what you're doing or why you're doing it, and it's okay. But before you go into anything else, just fix that up first. Just fix it up. And know that you do have your whole life ahead of you. But even if it doesn't feel like it, it's still true. You do have your whole life ahead of you. And it's okay. And don't use your past crap. Put it in a box with a bow and give it to somebody else. It does not belong to anyone else. Be accountable for the part that you played in this relationship, in any relationship, and be okay with that. Like, he didn't put a gun to my head for me to stay, or anything like that. I chose to go back. Each time I chose to go back. And now I'm making a choice not to. And I'm making a choice to move on. And I'm making a choice to be alone in this space while I do that. Because I don't want to give this to anyone else. And I don't want to make anyone... I want to go into it, whatever my next relationship, should I choose to go into another relationship anytime soon, with fresh eyes and an open heart. I don't want to come in jaded and, oh, he did this, or you gonna do this. Everybody's not the same. And no matter how you slice it, every relationship that ends for a reason. Take the lesson out of it and use that going forward. But don't take the hurt and the trauma and project it on somebody else. It does not belong to anyone else. It was a moment in time. That moment is over. It's done. It's finished. Live your life.